That moment when an online argument stops being cruised and suddenly becomes tribal, political, and of course personal. That is exactly what happened between Cubana Chief Priest and of course Isaac Fayose. What started as a reaction to New City Boy movement recruits quickly turned into a heated debate about money, unity, marginalization, and of course Nnamdi Kanu. Now let's break it down calmly. So here is how it all started. Isaac Fayose, younger brother to former Ekiti State Governor Ayo Fayose, reacted to the appointment of Cubana Chief Priest and Obi Cubana into the City Boy movement, a pro-Tinubu political group. Cubana Chief Priest was appointed Imo State Director, while Obi Cubana became Southeast Zonal Coordinator. Now, Isaac didn't hold back. He said Igbos are too cheap, always chasing money, and that is why the tribe isn't united. Yet they complain about marginalization. Then he brought up Nnamdi Kanu. He said Yorubas fought and secured the release of Sunday Igboho. Some northern clerics like Gumi openly speak for bandits and terrorists, but according to him, Igbos left Nnamdi Kanu in detention while mingling with the same political system they accuse of marginalizing them. That statement triggered emotions immediately because once you mention Nnamdi Kanu, unity and marginalization, you are touching deep nerves in the southeast. Now, Cubana Chief Priest responded strongly. He dismissed Fayose as jealous, said his entire net worth is inside his wardrobe, claimed Fayose is just bitter because he's no longer relevant anymore. But here is where it got even interesting. Cubana didn't just insult him. He made some political admissions. He openly said he is now a businessman. Not just a businessman, but also a politician, a friend of the government, and that because of his ideas and connections, just a memo from the president could help him access funding from the Bank of Industry. He also said you can't fight for Nnamdi Kanu from outside the system, that being inside gives you influence. That line divided the internet because some people believe working inside government structures brings change. Others feel it's simply joining the table and forgetting the struggle. Isaac Fayose fired back again and said Cubana was still a village boy when he, Fayose, already had businesses in the UK in 1998 and claimed he owned some of the biggest clubs in Lagos, said he pioneered Marine Society and of course owned a resort in Ibadan as far back as 2004. According to him, he just doesn't show off wealth like his aburo, meaning Obi Cubana Chief Priest, who implied newly rich. Then he made a strong allegation. He said if Cubana's source of wealth was traced in a more structured country, he would be in jail. Cubana responded by saying he has impacted more lives than the entire Fayose family, despite being governors in Ekiti State for 8 years. So this point, the argument shifted from tribal criticism to political alignment to personal wealth comparison. But here is the bigger issue many Nigerians are reacting to. Why does every serious conversation about unity or marginalization eventually turn into money talk? Some people actually agreed with Fayose, and not necessarily because they support insults, but because they feel there is truth in the frustration. Many young Igbos online are divided between political participation within the system or resisting the system entirely, and Cubana Chief Priest publicly aligning with the pro-Tinubu political structure is symbolic, especially when he also said he would work against Peter Obi in 2027. That statement alone shocked many in the Southeast, where Peter Obi has massive support. So now, the debate isn't just about wealth, it's about loyalty, identity, political strategy, and perception. And here is something we need to note. Social media magnifies everything. Two wealthy men arguing because of the tribal referendum, personal opinion becomes a regional judgment, and suddenly everyone is attacking. But the deeper question remains, can you fight for a cause from inside the government, or does entering the system automatically mean, compromise? That is the real conversation hiding under all the drama. But beyond insult and wealth display, this is about power, access, influence, and how change actually happens in Nigeria. And let's be honest, in Nigeria, money, politics, and tribal identity are deeply intertwined. So anything or anytime those three mix, it will trend. Now, I want to ask you, do you think Cubana is, has influence being inside the system, or do you think Isaac Fayose has a point about unity and misplaced priority? Let's talk in the comment section. And please keep it respectful, because once conversation turns tribal, nobody really wins. So let's talk.